When those terrible, catastrophic earthquakes hit Turkey and Syria, thousands of expert volunteers were sent to help the massive rescue operation.
Yeah, and that included a whole pack of search and rescue dogs who helped track down survivors under the rubble. We've got one of them here, Colin the Collie. We're going to have a look. Oh, he's already alert.
He's so well behaved.
He doesn't like the look of our floor manager, and I don't blame him. You keeping an eye on her? Yeah, well done. Well, look, we're going to find out a bit more about Colin the Collie in a moment. But first, Pip Thompson reports on their incredible work.
When the catastrophic earthquake hit Turkey and Syria, rescue workers from all over the world descended, accompanied by these canine heroes, whose drive, speed and tracking ability is unparalleled, when every second is crucial in the monumental mission to find life under the rubble. They included Colin the Collie, part of the UK's international search and rescue team. The group spent 10 days in one of Turkey's worst-hit areas, carrying out 11 successful rescues, a number of them thanks to Colin and 3 other sniffer dogs. At one point, Colin cut his paw badly, but was back searching again less than a day later. Colin is now safely back in the UK, but not every dog made it. Proteo was part of Mexico's rescue team. He died in the line of duty, a poignant reminder of dogs' selfless contribution during this cruelest of natural disasters.
Well, we're joined by some of the international rescue team from Lincolnshire Fire and Rescue Service, Neil Woodmansey, Ashley Hillred, good to see you as well this morning, and Mark Dungworth. And, of course, the hero, Colin. There you go, you know your name, don't you? The extraordinary, courageous Collie. I mean, the work that you all do is incredible, isn't it? But often, you know, the work of the dogs involved is extraordinary too. What can they do? Probably seems a little bit obvious, but what can they do and why is it helpful to have them? What can they do that humans can't?
Well, the dogs were introduced about 20 years ago into our team, and primarily they're there to find live casualties, but also what they actually do is protect our firefighters, because they'll go into the buildings, they'll go into the horrible kind of holes and everything to try and find the live casualties, whereas years ago, firefighters did that. So they're there to protect the firefighters, and what they'll do is they'll cover a massive area, and the idea is if that dog barks, it's barking on live scent, so then the rest of the team then can actually then go into that incident.
I mean, that's extraordinary, isn't it? Because, Ashley, because it might sound to people listening, oh, you're sending the dogs into something to protect the firefighters, you're almost sacrificing the dogs. But actually, they have the skills, don't they, that humans don't, and there's a difference in their ability to scramble into small places.
Yeah, it's exactly that, and it's the efficiency of how the dog works, and to see them scrambling over a collapsed building and the holes they get into, the speed they do that is amazing to watch.
Yeah.
And the time it would take us as a team to be going physically into all of those voids, areas and climbing over, then the dogs just get through that.
They're just better.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
better at doing it.
Although the dogs, Colin, can get injured as well, can't they, when they're doing this work? Didn't Colin hurt his paw?
Yeah, on the second day, unfortunately, he got a bad cut. He required 8 stitches.
Oh, Colin.
But the positive thing is we got back. The medical team were unbelievable. We took a vet who was amazing. They stitched him up, and 24 hours later, he was back searching.
And it didn't put him off going in there.
Oh, no.
You had to scramble so quickly, didn't you, to get out there? Tell us about the practicality of that, Mark.
Yeah, so we were alerted to the earthquake sort of Monday morning time, and then...
This is the most recent...
Yeah, so, and we're literally put on standby. There's a chance that we could be going, and then the government do their sort of bit chatting to the other governments in the affected countries, and then all of a sudden a decision is made, and yes, we're going. So
where does that come from? That order? Does it come from the UK government? Does it come from the head of the fire service? How does it work?
So we're part of the FCDO, part of the government, so we've got a sort of a link through those, and then they do the communications externally, and then that's where our sort of command comes from. That's where we get the minute.
So for us, the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, they fund us as a UK ISAR team.
I see.
So when we get that, the first bit is a request from the international affected country that they need international assistance. And that came very early from Turkey, which meant from us we knew actually then there's a highly likely chance that we can go. So while the FCDO were doing all of their hard work of trying to get the flights arranged, get us into country,
you were getting
we're
yourself
doing all
sorted.
that self-prepared. Yeah. So we've got 77 people in that team that went from the UK, and that includes the vets, the medical teams, structural engineers, and to get those and 10 tons of search and rescue equipment across is some feat.
So Colin injured his paw. What about the human cost for you? Because you're prepared, you're trained for situations like this, but seeing it in reality when you got there, what was that like?
Yeah, so that I explain it as we do extensive hours of training, and we do a lot in preparation for this, which is the technical aspect. It's the being able to do the search and rescue, the bit that the training doesn't prepare us for, and that was definitely an overwhelming experience, is arriving in that city of Antakya where we were working, seeing the scale of that devastation.
What was it like?
And then overwhelming. It was, a scale like no other. And the size of the buildings, they were high-rise, they were accommodation blocks, they were substantial buildings that everyone had been affected. But it wasn't just that, it was the people, it was those interactions, the human element. That's the bit that you can't train and prepare for, and those emotions that you are their hope. And even sort of 48 hours in when we hit the ground to be able to help, it was like the earthquake had just happened and they were desperate for us to go and do something for them.
It was obviously, I mean, it was a massive earthquake. Affects a huge area, devastation, tens of thousands of people lost their lives. But you guys have had experience in dealing with these kind of situations. When you got out there, did you find that the Turkish authorities, the firefighters, the rescue workers you were working with, did they have the preparation, did they have the resources to be able to deal with something on this scale? What was it like for you working with the guys on the ground?
Personally, it was my third major earthquake I've been to, and I've never, ever been to an earthquake before where there was so much help. Wow. It was quite inspiring to watch everybody was attempting to rescue. There were a massive team, and the people as well, even when we got there and we're fully equipped, they were still trying to help us, giving us water, giving us food. So it was quite inspiring, the people of Turkey. Absolutely.
Wonderful to hear that, isn't it? And for all those people watching who can't even get their dog to walk to heel, how do you train Colin to be so extraordinary? Give us some tips.
Well, it's all toy reward. So the idea was, when Colin was a puppy, he's obsessed with toys. So what you do is you've got the toy and you don't give him it, you tease him, so he barks at you. So then he gets the toy. Then we teach him, if he barks, he gets the toy. So eventually, and I'm not being rude, Kate, but obviously you smell, as in we all smell.
Well, I mean, look,
can
I
mean, it's
tell me about it.
It's
tell me about it. It's been all morning. Thank God you said it. Thank God you finally said it.
That came out wrong.
I'm just crumpling. Carry on.
Fragrant.
The reality is we all smell, and the dog will always find you with his scent. So the idea is initially you go and hide, and it's a game. Colin comes and finds you.
Thank you. Colin's leaping to my defence.
And the idea is, no matter where you are, if your smell's coming out, Colin will smell it.
He'll smell it and he'll spot it. And how does he... You say that they're very good at picking up live people in the rubble. How do you train them to spot that?
Well, what we do is, the science is things like a rotting pig, for instance, smells like deceased.
Right.
So we hide those
There's
on
this
the
live scent.
It's obviously very well... I mean, look, we were told Colin could be a bit wild. He's a docile, brilliant TV star. Look, I mean, his behaviour tomorrow has been exemplary.
We have had words this morning.
You've had fur words.
You've had words. Oh,
I know.
God.
Well, Colin, it feels to me like Colin might be on the turn. So shall we leave it there?
I think he's just been drawn into your smell.
There you go. You like my smell, Colin,
he's intoxicated.
Don't you? Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. The work you did is absolutely extraordinary. It's a pleasure to meet all of you this morning.
Thanks for your public service. It's really important.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.